Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this 15-minute franchisee interview. I know this is so helpful to our candidates who are going through the discovery process, hearing about our owner's experience and really what it's like to be a franchise owner in our system. So, would you mind just starting out by sharing who you are, what year you became a right at home franchise owner, how many territories you have, and then where you're located?
Well, thanks, Jessica. I'd be happy to. My name's Steve Morris. I started our franchise in 2012. That's 12 years ago. We have two territories up in the corner of Northwest Washington, just south of the Canadian border, just north of Seattle, about 5 counties that cover some rural, ocean, mountain, a mix of beautiful countryside.
Fantastic. And what was your background before becoming a right at home franchise owner?
Immediately before taking on the franchise, I was a management consultant and a leadership coach. So I would give training and consultation and coaching to CEOs and their leadership teams in Asia. And I was based in Singapore. I lived in Singapore for more than 23 years. Management consulting, coaching, advising, not a lot to do with healthcare, is it?
Yes, absolutely. So, what made you decide to choose right at home and really pivot from your current career?
That's a very interesting question. I often get asked that. I was quite successful in my career in Asia as a leadership coach, and I was reflecting on what was I going to do for my next chapter of life, right? So I have 4 kids that grew up in Asia and went to school and university in the U.S., and they were all graduating and on their own, and our parents started aging and frankly started failing a bit, and we'd have to fly over back and forth from Asia. And I could see that there was a lot of need for senior care in the U.S. And
Mhm.
in Asia, people are particularly revere their elders and take care of their elders, and families live together. But what I saw in the U.S. is increasingly people were on their own and they needed help. So it just made me reflect on what I could do to help my country, my community. I've lived in Asia so long.
Mhm.
People are like, "Well, you're American. What do you do to help America?" I'm like, gosh, I don't know. I pay
Yeah.
taxes. Maybe I create some jobs. Maybe I could do something worthwhile for the community and have a platform to meet nice people. So we started searching where we could do that from, and it just so happens we had a vacation home in the Northwest Washington area. Said, I wonder if we could make it work up there. And so we found that there was an open territory in Bellingham, Washington. We
Mhm.
contacted Omaha from Singapore. They thought I was Chinese, I think. You sure you want to do this? And yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
let's check each other out. And we flew out to Omaha and met the people and kind of fell in love with it.
Fantastic. And really talking about, making a difference, in America, specifically Washington. And you had mentioned, creating jobs in your caregivers. I know that somebody from your office just won the National Caregiver of the Year award. Would you mind telling us a little bit about, that and really what the significance of Leon winning, such a great award throughout our system?
We're 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 uh, we're on the moon. We're thrilled that Leon was chosen. Right at Home has more than 20,000 caregivers across North America, and there's more than 300 offices that can nominate people. And it's a pretty fierce competition, and each territory can only nominate their best, the best of the best of the best. So you go against the best of the best of the best. And our network and our agency has so many fine caregivers, and our network has so many fine caregivers. It really is a spectacular honor to be selected the best of the best of the best. And that was the honor that we were able to bestow on Leon just a few weeks ago at the National Right at Home Conference in Kansas City. And boy, was that it's just an inspiration. It's an inspiration for all of our staff. That
Mhm.
it's like, hey, we want to be the best at what we are, right? We're not just capable, but compassionate the way we impact people's lives and the quality of their life and the stories that people can share. It just like brings tears to their eyes. If you go to our corporate website and look at Leon's award video, most people say, I just started sobbing. It's like, it's just
Mhm.
inspiring to see how people really care, bring themselves to work and suit up as a caregiver and impact somebody's life. Uh, it's uh, a lot more gratifying than just coaching senior leaders and CEOs. I can tell you that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, we're so honored to have you and Leon and all your caregivers in the system because we know just what a huge difference you make and what a ripple effect that creates. Can you tell me a little bit about your typical day when you first got started versus what does it look like today, having been in the system for a number of years?
Okay, well, I started with my partner Sharon, and she was my boots on the ground here in Bellingham, while I was kind of crisscrossing the Pacific Ocean, taking care of a little business in Singapore, and then coming and doing some of the building blocks, finance, legal,
Hmm.
systems, and she would be doing the marketing
Hmm.
contact, initial marketing contact. So the first year, it was just figuring out how do we apply, how do we get credentialed, what are the requirements. Washington State is a health regulated state. There's a lot of rules to learn, and so it's just like going to school. And it was so. And I've started businesses on my own. I started a business in Asia on my own from scratch, and
Hmm.
I could see when I saw the franchise opportunity, it's like, oh, I can go to step 6 right away. I don't have to do steps one, two, three, four, five. It's all,
Hmm.
this has already been figured out, and I can just jump on the ladder at rung 6. And the Right Start program, which is a particular onboarding program for new franchisees that Right at Home has, the Right Start program gave me the education I needed, the terminology I needed, the support I needed. So, and the game plan that I needed to get started. So initially, it's just like knocking on the door and introducing yourself, and hi, I'm new here. This is who I am and what we have to offer. And when you work in healthcare, you're going to find out that everybody's so kind-hearted. There, yeah, just call. There is no real stranger in our business. There's a lot of kind-hearted people. So it was just getting some of the paperwork organized, systems organized, and then getting out of the office and meeting people. Eventually, I got to come back into Bellingham more and more, so then I could start meeting the community myself. And because I had some skills in speaking, public speaking, teaching, training. Like, well, I can speak to groups of seniors. I can speak to
Hmm.
groups of healthcare workers, hospital workers.
Hmm.
I can share my previous career's expertise to their context, and just do it as a service. I don't have to do it for a fee. And that was a way that I built a brand for myself in this space as well. So just
Perfect.
you'll
Yeah.
find those opportunities.
Absolutely. And then, when you were first, traveling back and forth and really building those relationships from the ground up, how do you feel like what you do today has changed or has it changed in any way?
Well, let's see what's changed in the last few years. There was this big thing. I don't know if you noticed it, but this big thing kind of really shook the way we do business and the way we do face-to-face
Hmm.
business. A lot of that got shut down and shut doors, and we had to figure out ways to stay connected with
Hmm.
people. Now we're in an era where people are embracing face-to-face get-togethers.
Hmm.
It's still a bit different than it was
Hmm.
then, just in those 12 years. So now it's more, for my role, I've been taking more board positions. It's like people know me in the community, so it's like, well, let me
Hmm.
serve on your board, or let me help in this space, or you can do
Hmm.
more voluntary and charitable work. I get involved with the State Chamber of Commerce, lobbying the various politicians that make our laws that regulate
Mhm.
employment, taxes, and
Mhm.
regulation. I get involved with the state chapter of the Homeowners Association of America. I get involved with the Right at Home corporate uh,
Mhm.
roles. I've served on the leadership committee for more than 6 years. So I just feel like it's more. I get more into policy shaping and in our
Mhm.
community. Where in the first era, it was just getting to know who's who and getting out and about. One thing I can very honestly share is that we're just in the right business, and people are like, oh, you do that kind of business, you know,
Mhm.
that's great. That's great. My mother needs that. My grandmother needs that. My neighbor needs that.
Mhm.
So people are willing to talk to you. People are rooting for us to succeed. So you feel like you've got a real you already have a feather in your cap in our
Mhm.
just to be in our industry, and it kind of opens the door for other opportunities.
Perfect. And then you get a lot of different types of support, with Right at Home. What do you feel like is personally the most valuable to you?
Well, different stages, different things, right? So
Mhm.
initially, I needed people that could help me get things going, right? And it's like, well, what is this business model? How do I approach it? How do I sell it? How do I position it? So having the coaches, the corporate coaches, the Right Start coaches available and helping us was the most important thing.
Mhm.
After a couple of years, just like in the second year, it's like, okay, I think I get it. I think I know my territory, but I
Mhm.
don't really know if I'm the best of the best of the best. So I got
Mhm.
involved with what Right at Home has a program called performance groups, right, which is
Mhm.
really peer groups of up to 12 other owners from different parts of the U.S., different regions, different sizes, and we'd get together twice face to face and twice by phone, so 4 times a year, and we'd
Mhm.
bare our souls, and we'd bare our sins, and we'd bare our financial results and all
Mhm.
our details. Right? It's like here it is, and that to me during my middle years was the most valuable. And it was facilitated by the Right at Home facilitators. It was organized by Right at Home. The data support for our finances was provided by Right at Home, the venues, et cetera. So we'd come and enjoy that structure and form really tight peer bonds. It's kind of like going to school together. You have really close friends, and you'll remember them for the rest of your life. And that's what peer our peer support group was like our performance group,
Mhm.
and that helped really sharpen our focus on what is the best um, closing rate, what is the best conversion rate, what is the best sales call approach, what are some new ideas for this, and we could cherry pick off each other and accelerate our growth at the same time of having somebody that was like-minded and had the same kind of challenges that we did. Yeah, so I'd say that that's been the most profound value,
Mhm.
those kind of relationships, and I'll take those forever for a long way down the road.
Absolutely. And then thinking about, a new candidate going through this discovery process, trying to decide, hey, is this the right, business to get into for them? What is a piece of advice that you would offer to somebody?
Uh, well, you really gotta want to be in the people business,
Mhm.
because this is there's people on there's caregivers, there's clients' families, there's community members. We're all people. There's going to be human drama every step of the way. You got to
Mhm.
have a lot of compassion and passion
Mhm.
to succeed in this. It is a relationship business. You have to feel that you care about people. You don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to be an introvert. People like people like introverts because they don't talk so much, right? Uh, people people like extroverts because they liven up the group, right? Just depends on your
Mhm.
personality. It's your personality that you bring and your standards,
Mhm.
your values, your standards. I think that's like if you line up with the values and standards of this kind of business model, like what our caregiver of the year, got his award for, right? It's compassion, it's
Mhm.
passion, it's integrity, it's caring to do the right thing.
Mhm.
So you've got to really want to be in the game.
Mhm.
Like, okay, it's a contact sport, right? It's not a remote control sport that
Mhm.
you can do from behind a desk without talking to people ever. So
Abs-
you got to decide, yeah, this is something that makes a difference, something I care about, something I can commit to. Okay, the rest is just hard work, uh,
Yeah,
and persistence.
absolutely. Well, Steve, this has been absolutely just amazing. I've really enjoyed my time with you. I know that our candidates are going to find your videos super, super helpful. We really appreciate, all that you do, all that your caregivers do, all the lives that you impact, and you guys really do make a difference. And the reason, why Right at Home is such a great industry.
I appreciate that, Jessica. I just want to share a memory I had when I
Mhm.
went through as a prospective franchisee, and they gave me a list of franchisees that you could call, and
Mhm.
like, okay, I want to call the first one, one of the, like franchise number two,
Yeah.
um, and because she is a pretty big one too, in when I joined, and so I
Mhm.
spoke with her, and I asked her, would you do it again? Would you do it with Right at Home, right?
Mhm.
And said definitely would do it again. And would you do it right home? She stopped for a second. She goes, well, she's a big, big, big office, a lot of territory. She said, well, it's a pretty big check I write every month. But if it wasn't for Right at Home, there wouldn't be a check at all for me.
Mhm.
They they enabled this to get here. So I had no regrets. Sign that check.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for everything. So appreciate your time.
All the best.
Yes, thank you.
Out.
Bye, Steve.
Bye bye.